One thing that I think the nuclear industry in South Africa is not doing any favors for its own cause is the strange bedfellows and fellow travelers that it seems to attract. And I can only just look to the previous nuclear plans. It attracted people like President Zuma, Mr. Zwane, Minister Brown, Minister Van Rooyen, Minister Mkhlobo, Mr. Benin Gubani, Mr. Brian Molefe, Mr. Anoj Singh, Mr. Machela Koko, and Mr. Maritz. These were the nuclear bedfellows of the nuclear industry. And I want to put it to our panelists. Are these the kind of people that do the industry any good? Or do they reflect poorly on the nuclear sector in South Africa? Mark.
Well, I would add to that list names like Westinghouse, the American nuclear Toshiba-owned company. I would add the French nuclear company. I would add Rosatom, in particular Rosatom, and I would say that the part of the what we call the Fight Back campaign, the campaign by the radical economic transformation faction within the ANC to fight back against our current president, Pravin Gordhan, is tied to the pro-nuclear movement, especially if you read the South African Energy Forum website and Twitter page. And this is the first time ever in public anybody has admitted to being part of that initiative. We've tried to find who actually is prepared to admit that they actually are part of the South African Energy Forum. So I think we cannot diverse this nuclear discussion from the politics of state capture and all that was associated with that, including the meltdown of Eskom and our current energy system. So I think when you look at the renewables program, which is now over 200 billion rands worth of investment, one of the fastest growing renewable energy sectors in the world, and we're going to ramp up that on a massive scale, there's been no incidents of corruption.
Adil, are you happy with the people that are linked to the nuclear sector in South Africa and the nuclear sector globally? Are these the kind of people that you want to be associated with?
You know, the whole nuclear debate and linking individuals is very strange. The last administration has been terribly blamed for things that don't really exist, things which were created in the ether, one. And I'm going to say it very openly because everybody blames Zuma era for nuclear. But nuclear started off in Madiba's time. He was the first one to decommission part of the nuclear programs and made it only electricity generation and gave Cape Town what they are enjoying today, which is electricity generation, under the Quebec station. Madiba was the champion of that. Nobody blames him for that, all right? The nuclear program started off from that point right up to today, led by different administration throughout. President Thabo Mbeki did the same program under the nuclear build program. They even had the PBMR nuclear research facility.
So they canned it all.
Because of really lack of foresight. They should have continued with PBMR. PBMR today would have been given South Africa the leading position. Now the Chinese have taken it, they are implementing it, they own the technology and they own the entire product process and the value chain. We have lost out on that. There was a massive industrialization scale. People would have been given jobs. South Africa will be at the leading tip edge of it. We've lost that whole competitive edge. So what did we gain except the bickering in the morning around nuclear? Nothing. So we are really not advancing. Instead of we using politics, and I said we must disassociate bureaucracy from the current technocracy that we want in South Africa. The element of technocracy is lacking in our policy decision making. Had we been visionary enough to see the value of what nuclear could have given to us today, 25 years down the line, had you invested in a simple ordinary 10,000 megawatts nuclear build, South Africa would have been at a European scale level of development.
But it takes 15 years to deliver.
I'm saying 25 years. Had you just given your 10 years to a 10,000 megawatt build, for the last 10 years, you would have had now a South Africa completely transformed, completely changed. People would not be going through a recession today. We would not be having the collapse of markets. We would be having regional security and integrity, and we'll be having energy sovereignty. But the foresight is not there.
Okay. I want to now talk